Welcome to New Life Live with host and founder of New Life Ministries, Stephen Arterburn. New Life Live is dedicated to transforming lives one at a time, thanks to the giving hearts of you, our listeners. Our goal is to provide you with wisdom from God's Word to give you hope and help in life's hardest places. If you have a question you'd like to ask today, our phone lines are open. Call 1-800-229-3000. That number again is 1-800-229-3000. Now here's Steve.
Hi there. Welcome to New Life Live. This is a great day. We've got Chris Williams in the studio. Hi, Chris.
Hi, it's good to be here.
And we've got Becky Brown.
Hello.
Becky, always great to work with you. And Steve Arterburn. We want to talk to you about a brand new conference that we're doing. And it's really fascinating where we're doing it. We're doing it in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. It's our annual Life Recovery Conference that we do. Becky, tell people why we're doing it in Sioux Falls.
Because there's a church that does great recovery there, and they invited us to come and be part of it, and we were so excited to come to a new place and be part of a movement that's already happening.
And we never get invited anywhere, so we said, "You betcha! If that's the only place that'll invite us, we're coming your way." But really, it's going to be a fantastic conference. Let me tell you the name of it. Well, first of all, let me tell you my favorite television show. I would love to be able to say that it's Bucks Hunting or it's Pit Master Barbecue, Forge and Fire. My favorite television show, Flea Market Flip. I love Flea Market Flip because they take, what do? They take a piece of junk and then they do some stuff to it and they repurpose that junk into something quite valuable. Well, it just has become such a part of my life that I said, let's do a repurposed life conference, because that's what I think God is really all about. Rick Warren wrote the book about the purpose-driven life, and I want, and I will, write the book, The Repurposed Forgiven Life, because I think that's the shape, all of it. We head one way, and we mess up, and then God says, I can use that. I can do something with that. We feel like we've been disqualified. No. If you will trust God and live into the grace and mercy that He has, God will do things you just never even dreamed. So it is September 25th, the Repurposed Conference, and it's in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. A lot of you have never been to South Dakota. You've never been to Sioux Falls. Here's your chance. And so call us and we'll tell you all about it. But we love our Life Recovery Conferences. It's kind of the only thing we do where we don't do the therapy and groups and all that. Becky will be there. Jason Mueller is head of Ransom Church. And it's just a wonderful, wonderful invitation from him. Chris will be there. I'll be there. September 25th. Come and join us.
You know what my favorite show is? Anything that's got the before and after. You know, I love those. And so we love the testimonies from people who have gone through recovery or work in recovery. It is ultimately that repurposed life, that they were headed one direction and God turned their life around and they are doing a great thing.
Well, for so long in my life, it was a story of before and before. We're still there. We're in
the cul-de-sac.
Yeah, we're still having that original pain. It's before and it's before. So it is really great to get to the after. By the way, Going Deeper is our weekly episode is on codependency. It premieres at 5 p.m. Today. And so we'd love for you to join that. And then we've been doing some really great Life Recovery Today shows. And Becky and I have been doing those together. That's on the NRB television network. We love getting to do the things that we do. I just count it such a privilege to be talking to you right now. And a real privilege when you call us. And here's the phone number, 1-800-229-3000. 1-800-229-3000. It costs you nothing, and we will give you some insight that's far more valuable than the nothing that you paid for that phone call. I trust you. All right. We'll take a break. We'll come right back. Chris Williams, Becky Brown, Steve Arterburn here. Glad you're with us.
I came into this thinking
that my husband was the cause of many of our issues.
The New Life Intimacy and Marriage Workshop is coming to Washington, D.C., July 23rd to the 25th.
But after learning about our attachment styles, I understood how our past hurts were playing into our present problems.
Join Steve Arterburn.
It's been a dream of mine for a long time to help people to grow more intimately together, and we believe that everybody has room to grow in the intimacy level of their life.
And Milan and Kay Yurkovich.
We help couples understand how their attachment style is sabotaging their current relationship. And then we teach them how to create comfort in a relationship.
And New Life's group counselors will help you focus on the area that will benefit your marriage most. To register or to find out more, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Here at this workshop, we had our first ever conversation without yelling, blaming, and accusing.
1-800-NEW-LIFE. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. Steve Arterburn here. Chris, you had a comment you wanted to make about that repurposed life recovery conference.
You know, we talk about this often here, but we think of recovery or repurposing for somebody else that has serious issues. But one of the things that we're oftentimes blinded to is our own issues. And we kind of either adapt to them and get used to them, unfortunately, or we believe that it's for somebody else. But we really change when we do the work. But oftentimes you don't know what the work is or what it looks like. You come to the Repurposed Life, and we will show you what the work is that joins with God's work in God's continual redemption plan in our life. And you'll also learn a few things, like one thing that's near and dear to my heart that you guys are talking about today on Life Recovery today is words like codependency that have these these undefined meanings. We will tell you exactly what that means, why it's damaging to us or keeps us away from God's best for us, and how to recover from it, because we all carry what we call this codependency nature in our life, and we're going to help you get beyond that so you live more free and clear to God's will.
We are, and I'll tell you, this is something that you might think somebody you care about needs, and that's a problem. Because sometimes the person you live with is such a big target. They've got such that you think, well, compared to them, I'm really doing well, and you don't take care of the stuff you need to take care of. We'll help you with that. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-NEW-LIFE for all the information that we can give you on the Repurposed Conference. Well, I think that I could go online here and talk with Martha. I think she's been freed up by our call screener, so let's see if that's true. Martha, San Francisco, you listen online at newlife.com. How are you?
Hi, thank you so much. I love your show. Yes, I have a question regarding gaslighting and actually codependency. How do I respond in a biblical way when my husband is gaslighting me and accusing me of things that he's doing, like he's projecting on me, and then he accuses me in front of the children. That's on purpose to make me look bad. And also...
well, let me ask you this real quick, just on that, before we go on. You're wanting us to tell you the biblical way to respond. How have you been responding to that?
Either I don't say anything, I try to walk away.
That's not a biblical. Okay, that's not a biblical response. That's not a biblical response. So we can help you with that. But what else? What's another thing that you do?
And then I just denied. I said that it is not true, and then it's a screaming match, and the kids get really upset, and then he's telling them, yes, I'm the one who filed for divorce, but he's the one who was cheating. And then, of course, he used that, and he tells the kids, your mom is really bad. She's the one
How old are your children? How old are your children?
Oh, they're big now. I mean, they're like in like 19 and 20 something,
Okay.
21. So
And
they're big, but they've seen us fight.
Am I hearing you correctly that you've filed for divorce,
Yeah.
but you're still living together?
Yes, because of economic situation. I can live at my friend's house, but they don't have a space for me. And
Why wouldn't he be the one that needs to leave?
I would like to, but then he said he has no money. He's like not looking for a job, or he looks purposely for jobs that he knows he cannot get, and I think that he's just trying to milk it.
So I'm so sorry,
and
I'm
Martha,
so sorry what you're going through. Here, Becky, what do
I
you
have
think?
a couple of questions. How long have you guys been married?
It's gonna be 28 years.
And how long have you been fighting?
I think probably really bad the last 4 or 5 years, but it started 10 years when he stopped working.
Okay. So see how there's like all of this stuff is kind of creating inertia for you guys. And so here you made the big, bold step to file for divorce, and yet nothing has changed. And I would say, I know you're asking about gaslighting, and there is codependency at play here. I think you have enough insight, but Martha, I want to know if you have support around you. Like, are you working with a group or a counselor to help you get some clarity? Because if you guys are still at that level of arguing, it makes sense because you're in the house, but you're really not married. I mean, like, you're not wanting to continue the relationship. So the tension is high. And so you're accurate. He is gaslighting you. But at this point, with you filing for divorce, we've got to go in a different direction. But I'd be interested to hear what Chris has to say.
Yeah.
Well, Martha, my heart breaks for you. And, you had said in there, it kind of like came and went quickly, but it was not lost on me, and that he is cheating. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yes.
So he's been unfaithful. He's not looking for jobs. That he has gone in a continually dark place over time, right? And it gets darker and darker. And you're finding yourself falling into that darker place with him. And that's the codependency part of it. Now, the gaslighting part of it is in darkness we cannot see clearly. Gaslighting is telling a story non-representative of reality. And reality is so crucial because that is the raw material of transformation. If it's not real, you can't do anything with it. And that's one of the most devastating aspects of gaslighting or deceit. And so you must be able to connect back to truth. What is your truth? What are you feeling? And whatever you're feeling, if you're hurt because he cheated on you, that's real. That's also reasonable. If you don't trust him because he doesn't tell the truth, that's reasonable. What Becky was saying, though, is that when we get lost in these really, really painful and scary places, anger and fear will disconnect us from reality quicker than anything else. Then we need other people, truth tellers, loving truth tellers around us to reflect back to us reality. And that's where a good recovery group and support group comes into play. But you have to start by separating yourself from his dark place.
Okay. So, Martha, when I hear you saying some of the things that you're saying, it really does sound like that you're trapped, or you feel trapped, and you're very limited in the options that you have. Otherwise, the last thing in the world you would do is live in the same house with a guy doing this and what he's done to you in the past. So I think maybe the best thing that we could say to you is begin trying to find options to the current situation. Now, you found a friend that you could live with. Maybe your friend that you could live with could help you find another place for him to live. I don't know. I mean, you live in or near San Francisco, so they have a city mission. They have Salvation Army. They have all sorts of resources for people that don't have money and don't have a place to live. And I would be, even if you had to apply to the Salvation Army for him, that's an option that you explore. A lot of times when we start to explore options, other options start to come about. But if we just sit there and think it's either me move in with my friend or be stuck with him, that's the way it's going to be for quite some time, because I don't think this guy's going to go to work, and I don't think he's ever going to be independent.
Well, and don't you think sometimes in a situation where there's gaslighting and there's this kind of drama, the brain can't think of what would be the next thing for me to do.
Yeah.
Right.
And so you really have to have somebody outside of you, and it could be this friend who can help you kind of create 1, 2, 3. What's something that you need to do in order, because your future is going to look different than what your present is right now. At some point, somebody's moving. At some point, there's going to have to be a way to make a living and to take care of yourself. And that can be pushed so far away when you are in this, I cannot believe he's telling me that I'm the one that's doing this, when we all know that he's the one that's doing that. And you just can spin in that, just, I can't believe he's spinning this story this way. And it's understandable, Martha, and I'm so sorry. But I do believe that if you can get connected with a counselor, and we'll see if we've got somebody in the area, and begin to process, okay, what are my next steps? I filed for divorce. That's usually the biggest thing to, have to come to terms with. But what's after that? What do we do to get you safe and, on your future?
Yeah. So let's go ahead.
The problem is as you said, he does. I know him. He will not want to move out, and unless he's forced to. And then second is.
Hold on. Stay right there, Martha. Sometimes you have to force him out.
Yeah.
That's an option. That's an option.
It's not going to be easy.
No,
Yeah,
none of this is easy.
Unless the judge tell him, I don't think he will want to move out. But then to make it more complicated is our college children are back and then living in the house. So I don't want to, why would I be the one moving out of the house and the children and him are in the house? I mean...
No, we're not saying that.
No, not at all. Yeah.
We're saying he needs to go.
Yeah, but it's so difficult. He doesn't want to go, so that's why, he tells everyone it's mom's fault. It's mommy's fault because she filed. She's the bad girl. And the kids are confused, and he projects on me.
Yeah, so Martha, that's what we're saying. This is why you need to do your work, because we need you. I say we need you. You need to, for you, strengthen your resolve about you and your own experience, because you're getting sucked into his narrative all the time, the story that he's saying. We know it's false, and we know it's really damaging and painful. But you're spending your time battling his narrative or battling his story instead of living out your own. Yes, if you kick him out, he will tell a horrific story about you. That's inevitable. But he's already doing that.
Well, and the other part about, while you're on that topic, Martha, if you guys are getting into big fights, you have to decide how you are going to be. And you can't be sounds easy to say, but, if you're in a state of reaction and your kids are watching this play out, if you're screaming just as loud as he's screaming, in their minds, everybody's at fault, right?
Yeah.
So decide how you want to be and work towards that goal. And it's going to require some help so that you can get out of his story, just like what you were saying, Chris.
So I'm going to send you Take Your Life Back. I want you to have the Emotional Freedom Workbook. What else?
Maybe she could join us at the Emotional Freedom Workshop in August. It's online.
We're going to do that in August. I want you to hold on. I want to see if we can find a counselor for you, because that's where I think options come.
Right.
You say to the counselor just the first time you're there, I really want to explore what options that I'm not seeing and how I might get there. It's easy for us to say do this or that, but I know it's hard. So we want to help you to get to that place where you've got an option other than this. You are listening to New Life Live, and you could join us at 1-800-229-3000. 1-800-229-3000. You could watch us on YouTube right now on the New Life Live YouTube channel. You can also make comments about the program. Other people have right there. And we'll take a break. We'll come back for more of New Life Live. 1-800-229-3000. We're so grateful to all of you who support us. Today's the last day you could get a copy of The Soul of a Hero as our way of saying thank you. Hi, this is Steve Arterburn from New Life Live, and Chris Williams and I are doing the Emotional Freedom Workshop. A lot of people are you could literally say, in bondage from past trauma that has created an emotional web that they don't understand, and it prevents them from being free. A person that loses their temper regularly is not emotionally free. Someone who has anxiety just to get in the car and leave the house is not emotionally free. And walking around with the shame from a childhood or even a bad relationship as an adult, that is not emotional freedom, and we can help you get there.
The New Life Emotional Freedom Online Workshop is Saturday, August 14th. Steve Arterburn and Chris Williams will present information on the power of our emotions, procrastination, guilt and shame, and more. And small group leaders will help you process the information you learn. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE or register online at newlife.com.
I was really living a very anxiety-filled life. I did go to Take Your Life Back. That's why I continue to support the ministry with the hope that not only am I helping my own situation, that I'm helping others as well.
You can help New Life Live stay on the air by joining Club New Life today. When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, we'll send you the New Life member thank you gift of the New Life Journal, 100 Days of Peace, 7 Ways to Choose Healing, Growth Has No Boundaries, a Restoration Bible, and a New Life grocery tote to hold it all. Plus, there are ongoing benefits like access to the Club New Life video library, the monthly Club New Life CD or download, quarterly resources, free shipping on purchased resources, and discounts on workshops. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. Steve Arterburn here. The phone number, 1-800-229-3000. And Larry's coming in early today to talk to us about how to support the ministry and how we will say thank you. I want to mention before you get started, Larry, that when you join Club New Life, we have put together a resource that helps you experience the presence of God in a way maybe you haven't before. But we've got a brand new devotional called the 100 Days of Peace, and that's included in it. It's not in my stack, but it's right there behind me.
Chris has got it.
Chris has got a copy. And Women on the Go, it comes from one of the best-selling 169 copies out there. Pam Farrell and I put it together for women, but this is 90 devotions for women on the go. Growth Has No Boundaries by John and Henry, Townsend and Cloud and Townsend. The New Life Journal, which has all of these different things that it asks you to think about and to write about. It's fantastic. And the Restoration Bible. It's a great devotional Bible, and it's our gift to you for joining Club New Life at minimum $30 or increasing your Club New Life membership by a minimum of $10. But Larry, you've got something to share with us, and we love folks that maybe they've never given, but finally they say, this is the day I'm going to do it.
Absolutely. And so you can join Club New Life. You can make an individual gift. You can give us a bunch of stock that is appreciated, that you can make the benefit of not dealing with the capital gains but getting a full value of the stock. There's all kinds of ways you can give. But I want you to give because we can keep doing what we're doing when you give, and that is helping people experience change in life. Every Man's Battle's coming up a week from Saturday, or a week from this weekend. And so it's fresh in my mind to talk about that. And here's a testimony from one of the last live Every Man's Battles we did. I'm leaving Every Man's Battle hopeful. Having sabotaged my marriage of 18 years regularly throughout with only brief periods of sobriety from my 40-year addiction to pornography and sex, I am far more hopeful than I imagined was possible. I've learned more about the nature of my addiction, the extent of my woundedness, and the impact of my sin on my family, friends, loved ones, and community this weekend than I believed possible in just 2 days. I leave encouraged to pursue God in true intimacy with my wife, in spite of the difficult circumstances I face when I go home, to face the mess and hurt that I caused in my past pursuit of sin. I leave Every Man's Battle being known by a group of men, and knowing a group of men who have permission to speak into my life and hold me accountable for my actions. And I've been given permission and the honor and privilege to speak into theirs. I leave having experienced the grace of God. And that's about the best thing we can hear.
You know what I love about that is that gentleman maybe had only been experiencing the shame that Satan wants us to walk in to keep us from doing anything, and to walk in with shame and walk out feeling the grace of God. That's a pretty major transformation.
Well, this guy has been struggling for 40 years.
Yeah.
You don't have to be struggling 40 years to come and gain benefit from this workshop.
Right.
You maybe been dabbling for months. This is still going to help you.
Well, and I think the other aspect of that is that if you struggle with this for so long, you kind of get into this hopeless place.
Yeah.
That things can't be different. But this is proof that they absolutely can.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to be part of Every Man's Battle, you call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. If you want to support us so that we can get some folks that have a really tough time getting to Every Man's Battle, you call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE also.
And ladies, if you think your husband needs it, call us up and talk to us about it at 800-NEW-LIFE, and maybe we can get him there.
We've found a way to help people get someone there, and we don't care. In fact, it's kind of a nice little challenge when they say, oh, I'm just here to please her or whatever. Okay, great. You're here, and then it's our job to turn that around, and we know how to do that too. So give us a call, 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Whether you need help or you help us, it's the same number. All right, 1-800-229-3000. 1-800-229-3000. Let's go to David, Branson, Missouri. Hi, David. How are you today?
I'm good, Steve. How are you?
Excellent. What's going on?
Well, I've got a brother who's 23 years old, and I kind of don't know what to say or do to help him, because he kind of blew up my phone the other night just saying that he just wanted to die, just wanted to kill himself. And so I drove like 2 hours to go pick him up, to get him from his dad, who is doing meth. And our mom, just our family of origin isn't the greatest, and the dysfunctional family. And so I guess the question I have is that, like, how can I be there for my brother, who's hopeless right now, but he doesn't seem to want to do any of the work to change.
Yeah.
But also, while at the same time being careful to not let myself get pulled in, to get roped into that hopelessness too.
Okay, so I want you to hold on. We're going to go to a break, but when we come back, maybe we could start by you telling us what you think began this horrific process into hopelessness. You know, was it problems with dad, and then this happened or that? But let's get some insight into how a person like him or him gets to that place where you just don't care, because, man, we want to help you get him out of that. You're listening to New Life Live, 1-800-229-3000 to join us on the program. We're here for 2 hours today, another hour and a half right now. Join us. We'll be back after this.
life, I've been dealing with an opiate addiction.
Why is opioid addiction quickly becoming one of our nation's biggest killers? Maybe it's because it isn't only those who are addicted who are in denial.
We did what I see so many parents do, is it can't be an addiction. There's something medically wrong.
It's impossible to solve a problem when you don't know what you're up against, and families will try to find any explanation except the one that will put them on the right path.
Alcoholism and drug addiction is a family disease. It doesn't affect just the individual.
If someone you love is abusing painkillers, know what you're up against. It's time to admit its addiction and seek treatment. Call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have partner treatment centers around the country. Call 1-800-639-5433 or visit us online at newlife.com.
We just made a decision. We will do whatever it takes.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
I'm an addict, and I'm trying to get God in my life again.
You seem to be able to get to the crux of a problem quickly.
Our Christ-centered treatment programs can help you break free to embrace all that God has for you and your family.
I just want to thank you guys for bringing me to a relationship with Jesus.
There really is help for marital problems, depression, addictions, panic attacks, and feelings of hopelessness.
I came back with so many tools to help me prepare myself to fight this struggle and this battle that I have every day.
You can start living again today, living the life God intended for you. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
They did care, and they did follow up very lovingly, and it made all the difference in my life.
Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Someone who cares is waiting at the other end of the phone. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Just call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-639-5433.
We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. Steve Arterburn talking with David. And David, I ask you to just think about what is it that caused the disaster here that got him into this place of hopelessness? Can you give us some insight to that?
Well, yeah, Steve. So basically, long story short, our families, we both have the same mom, but different dads.
Okay.
And they have not been the best role models. And I would go as far as say too, like our family just hasn't raised us up in the way that we should be as men of God. And
okay.
as adults.
But you're talking to us, and he's not. You've been able to not be sucked into this. You're doing things with your life that are important. So what's the difference in you and him?
I think that the difference is that I chose to not just live in the murkiness anymore. Not live in the what ifs or the what could be's or what the past was.
Okay.
That it was far better being on the other side of the grass or the other side of the road than be on the other side where you could potentially get hit by a car or something.
Okay. Yeah.
So
well, let's see. We'll start with Chris and then you, Becky. I want to help David help his brother. So what do we do?
Absolutely.
What could he do?
So David, I want to start with this. At the risk of talking out of both sides of my mouth, I want to start though with something, and that is powerlessness. Is that you can't. As much as maybe you and your brother have tried to change your mom, or you change your dad, he changed his dad. Our ability to change another person is actually very limited, and it's profoundly limited if they're not willing to change. And so you mentioned something really crucial, and that is protecting yourself from going down the same hopeless hole that he has gone down. And that is essentially important in this process. With that said, it sounds like he's been resistant, maybe resistant to therapy, counseling, recovery. I don't know. Is he using drugs? Is he caught up in a pattern of addiction or unhealthy coping mechanisms. All of those things will need to be addressed in his life if he's going to make progress, right?
Yeah, he does. He is hooked on like dipping and vaping, and he plays a lot of video games at times. So that's kind of his escape or go-to.
Yeah, and all of those things are keeping him trapped. So here's the suggestion I have, because you are talking about a very, again, painful family experience. And family is a big deal. It's in our DNA, so it hits us at a very deep level. And so what I would recommend as a starting point to see if he would go with this is letting him know, brother, I'm really, really struggling here. And I'm struggling with everything that's going on, and I see that you are. Would you go with me to see a therapist that we can go see together? Like, I'll go with you, you go with me, but I want to start addressing and working through this pain, but I need your help.
And I would even add to that, David, I would have your brother make a contract with you. This is something that counselors do all the time. Brother, you mentioned that you wanted to die, that you wanted to take your life. I want you to promise me that you won't make that choice. I'm here for you. I came to get you, to show you that I'm with you, and we're going to get through this. But a lot of times when people are threatening suicide, we kind of back away from it because we don't want to talk about it. We're afraid to trigger something. But what you need to do is you need to lean in and assure them that you want them alive and that you want them to make that commitment. Please don't take your life. We're going to get help. And then do like what you said, Chris, and begin the journey together. Someone who is at this level of despondency really needs great support. They're not able to think straight, and with all the ways that he's kind of numbing out that you listed, it's not typical to expect that he's going to have, this great idea of, you know what I need this, that, and the other thing. And he's just not going to be there. The other thing I think would be important is for him to start, as you go to this counseling session, that you get him connected with a group. And again, maybe you would, attend the group with him, but then to help him see a new life. Where, he has a job and he's finding fulfillment, he's connecting with people and finding a different version of himself as opposed to the state of mind in which he's in, where he needed to be rescued. And I'm thankful that you took that trip. And I do think there's hope, but I think those would be some of the things that I would suggest that you do.
Yeah. Okay. I'm really glad you called. I'm going to send for you The Soul of a Hero, and I hope that that's a book that you could enjoy. But for him, I'm going to send Healing as a Choice. I would love it if he'd open up there and he saw that one of the most healing choices is forgiveness or acceptance and grieving, that it might do some good here. But I hope and pray that you never give up on him. It sounds like to me you're about all he's got that's a good force in this world. So thank you, David, for that phone call. 1-800-229-3000. This thing of resilience is so important. And, man, when you don't have it, you're helpless, or you feel that way, certainly. So here's Sheila from Washington, D.C., and she listens on the app, the New Life app. Hi, Sheila. Welcome.
Yes, hi. Hi, thank you.
Sure.
So my story is that I just got my boyfriend who is talking to different women, and it started when 3 months after I gave birth. This is 2019. And then we reconciled, and then he promised that, I'm not going to do that again. So we've been together since. And
let me ask you a quick question here. It's something I ask everybody.
Yes,
he promised he'd never do it again. Why did you believe someone who betrayed you? Just flat out betrayed you and made you a victim, all of that. And then he says, I promise I won't do it again. Why would you believe that?
Well, at that point, I don't know. I just gave birth. My son was just a baby.
Yeah.
And I needed him.
I think that is that's very good insight on your part, that you see it now, that you were at a tough place. And the reason that I love you saying that is that there are other people in tough places that are saying yes to things because they're in a tough place rather than look at some options that they might have. Okay, so bring us up to speed. What is the question for us today?
So recently I caught him again doing it back in 2020. So like a few months after he promised. And now I asked him to move out. He moved out. He went to his mother, and I told him just move out for like a week or two until, you know, I'll have space and think. So now I don't know. Should I believe him that he's not going to do it again?
No.
Because he admitted that.
No. He didn't just betray you once. He betrayed you.
Yeah.
Said he wouldn't do it, and betrayed you again. Now that's double dog betrayal. Why would you believe him now rather than not believe him, since he already broke his word?
Well, I don't believe him anymore, so that's why I'm like, I asked him to move out.
Okay. But you just ask us, should I believe him? Should I, right?
What's your question, Sheila? What
is the specific thing we can help you with?
Well, I don't really know what to do. I'm in a limbo.
Okay.
I have a kid, and I'm by myself here. I don't have any friends to go with. And
so that's where you start. That's where you start. You gotta create a community, and the good thing is that there is a big community of women who have experienced betrayal, and they support one another. I just went to the Restore workshop. You know, we have people all over that can help you begin the process of healing, so that if there's a chance for you to reconcile with him, it's because he's done his work. It's because he is ready to fully commit in a relationship, not because it's just easier because you need his help. And I think we'll talk about that a little bit after the break.
Because, you know, somebody that betrays you ought to be saying, I betrayed you. I am going to get help. I'm going to a men's support group, all sorts of things, versus, I'm sorry. We'll be back.
It had become very apparent that some of the things I was involved with were taking over my life.
In today's world, men are barraged with inappropriate content and images, all day, every day. Some say that certain behaviors are just no big deal. They're just part of being a guy. But it's simply not true. It's a battleground for every man, and the opportunities to fail are everywhere. The Every Man's Battle Workshop can help.
After 7 years, he came home and just one weekend, a completely changed man.
For over 20 years, New Life Ministries has been helping men regain their integrity and purity through their one-of-a-kind Every Man's Battle Workshop.
He didn't want to go, and he came home and said, you know, I think this is something that every man should go to. Married, dating, it was definitely life-changing.
Now the workshop is coming to Dallas July 9th through the 11th. Don't wait for him to call. To find out more, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE or go to newlife.com. 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
I was really living a very anxiety-filled life. I did go to Take Your Life Back. That's why I continue to support the ministry with the hope that not only am I helping my own situation, that I'm helping others as well.
You can help New Life Live stay on the air by joining Club New Life today. When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, we'll send you the New Life member thank you gift of the New Life Journal, 100 Days of Peace, 7 Ways to Choose Healing, Growth Has No Boundaries, a Restoration Bible, and a New Life grocery tote to hold it all. Plus, there are ongoing benefits, like access to the Club New Life video library, the monthly Club New Life CD or download, quarterly resources, free shipping on purchased resources, and discounts on workshops. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. Steve Arterburn here with Becky Brown and Chris Williams. We are talking here
to Sheila.
She's
Sheila,
gone.
are you with us?
Well, I think she got cut off. She did.
So, we're just going to say this because there are so many of you that are in very similar situations. We were talking about this at the break that, we accept the unacceptable. Chris, what did you say?
We tolerate the intolerable.
Right.
Yes.
It's literally, it's not okay, but yet we don't have choices. And then we're in the middle of a crisis. And what do we do then? And so it may feel like it all has to get fixed, but it's going to start one step at a time, one day at a time. So the first step, Sheila, is you need to get connected, and hopefully we can get you connected with, we have lots of counselors in that area as well as groups where you can begin to build support without having to make a major decision about what to do with him. What I would like for him to do is the same. If you can create the structure for you to come back, you're going to have to, like you said, Steve, go to a group, I would expect him to go to Every Man's Battle, and then begin the process of healing so that your family can be whole and healthy and move forward so that 3 years from now, we're not having the same conversation again.
Yeah. I think one of the worst things that we see are people that don't do anything to make the situation better. Second thing, you don't lay out an expectation of this person other than, okay, come back and try harder. Mm-hmm. They need to fix the character that led to them make that decision. All right, I've got time for one more call. I'll take this, but if you hold on, I'll get to you in the next program we're going to do just in a few minutes here. And if you want to join us for that program, it's 1-800-229-3000. Here's Ann from Dallas, Texas. Hi, Ann.
Thank you for taking my call,
Certainly.
everyone. I need your help, okay? So I'm trying to be supportive of my husband, but I'm growing a little weary. I feel like he's got a bitter root that has taken hold with his personality. And so he feels, on one hand, unsupported and becomes very negative. And I'll give you an example. And it's old. He holds on to old things, what I feel are old. And he says they're unresolved. So on my side of the family, 10 years ago, we had gone to visit my sister. We were taking a long trip. And so one of my other sisters, who happened to have been my older sister, she rode with us on the trip. She talked the entire time. I am the type of person who falls asleep on a long car ride. Usually within 30 minutes of the car ride starting. But so he was upset that she talked the entire time. And after the visit was over, he said, well, why didn't I tell her to be quiet, that she was doing too much talking? And I said, well, there's a reason for that she talks a lot when she's riding. She's like my mother used to be. They try to keep the driver awake. So they talk a lot to help, I think.
Makes sense. Okay, well, I don't have a lot of time, so let's hear, he's still holding on to that, or what's the question you have for us?
What I don't know if do I need to develop a tougher skin or just go with my second thought, which is, I don't know if it's a good thought, but I'm getting tired and I want to move away.
Okay.
That's pretty drastic.
So,
yeah.
So Ann, negativity can be like a slow drip, but almost like Chinese water torture, right? So a complaint, and a negativity. And what's happened is that your bucket got full and you're like, I have no more room for any more negativity. Because it's not about this thing with your sister. It's about an accumulation of things that he's holding on to. One of the attributes of something that, what I call the unloved category, is love does not keep records of wrongs. But he's just found himself in that pattern. Usually something deeper in his own life is driving that, a deep satisfaction. I would start here. This is great to work out in couples counseling. You need a safe place for you both to be able to express your hurts or hang-ups or concerns with each other, and also be able to hear it from each other and then go to work on that.
The other thing that I think about, Ian, the other thing I think about is you described it correctly with that bitter root, which when we have that bitter root, we have to dig it up and get it pulled up. But that's not your work, that's his work. I also wonder...
He's not willing to do that.
Right, I figured as much.
I'm wrong. We've had two conversations with our pastor and with a separate counselor, because I went to the other counselor for myself to say, what can I do differently?
Right. So here's the thing. Here's the thing, though, Ann.
Nothing.
Listen. He is in defense mode. He is sure about whatever he's wrong about, and whatever he may be complaining about his woundedness from this car ride so many years ago, and what at the core of it, it's keeping you both from being intimate with each other. Instead of, I'm sure that part of it is he's feeling insignificant. And we talk about those kind of things. It's like, if you really had a problem with the sister talking, what prevented him from saying, okay, let's do the quiet game, or, something like that. But that's really not what the core issue is. He's got a wounded inside, and he doesn't know what to do with it. And after all these years, the only thing he can do now is defend that wound. And it would be great. I know you've done counseling. It would be great for them to join us at the Intimacy and Marriage there in Dallas in a couple months. But that's a tough one.
But Ann, whether it's going back to your pastor or a new counselor, the diagnostic here is he's continuing to bring up something that happened years ago, and it's something so irritating and annoying to you, you'd just like to leave. Mm-hmm. Now, if somebody were to sit down with me and say, this person is doing this thing, and it's so bad after so many years, I want to leave, we got to talk about that. Mm-hmm. Nothing else. We're not going to talk about you. We're going to talk about, first of all, why are you still talking about this? And then secondly, if you know how horrible this is for your spouse, do you care that she literally wants to leave over you wanting to continue to talk about this? And that's where we are. It's about the person that's doing the behavior, because they're the ones that can stop that particular behavior. All right. So, oh man, I am so sorry. Let me send you Mylan Kay's book, How We Love. See where you guys are in there, in the way that you're connecting, the way you were raised, things like that. I think that's going to help you.
Hey, Steve,
please let us find a counselor. Yes, Chris.
Can I throw in one more resource there?
Yeah.
I think underneath the surface in his life is, as Becky was referring to, is a deep wound I don't know if he's ever revealed. I would love to send him Forgiving the Unforgivable.
There you go.
Or Forgiving What You Can't Forget.
Yeah.
Good point. Well, we're out of time. I would hope and pray. Well, if you want to join us in the next hour, here's the phone number, 1-800-229-3000. I would hope and pray that something we said to somebody else might be something that meant a lot to you. If you need help, it's 1-800-NEW-LIFE. And if you can help us, same number, 1-800-NEW-LIFE. And we'll send you a copy of The Soul of a Hero, 7 Things to Be That Hero. Dave Stoop and I wrote it.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or write to us at New Life Ministries, P.O. Box 1029, Lake Forest, California, 92609. Please join us again tomorrow for New Life Live.
Hi, thank you for watching New Life Live. You know, New Life Live is a Christian counseling program where we deal with the hard questions about life, relationships, kids, free choice, freedom of will, whatever. It's all right there on New Life Live every day, every weekday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. If you want to call into the live broadcast, you can find the schedule on newlife.com or click the social media link right below. You can see every episode of New Life Live on the New Life YouTube channel. Watch it with a friend, watch it later. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you'll never miss another episode. So if you want to listen on the go, download the app. The link is right below. And I hope if you need some information, if you want to get some help, you'll call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. And I'll see you next time.